So, what about Cambridge law?
Cambridge.
You were about to.
I was about to say that my favorite joke about lawyers is that the U.S. Postal Service a few years ago issued a commemorative series of stamps commemorating famous American lawyers, but they had to withdraw it within a couple of weeks because people couldn't figure out which side of the stamp to spit on. You heard that before.
That's great. You know, I have your creativity book, A Short and Cheerful Guide. It's available for sale. I highly recommend it. It's like cocaine for the brain, you know? But why is creativity so important for a thriving society?
Well, I think the most natural impulse that people have, other than curiosity, is to figure out, well, couldn't we do this better? Mm-hmm. You know, whatever it is. And I think that's a pretty natural kind of response, but I'm afraid the educational system doesn't encourage it.
Right.
I mean, it's not as bad as Japan was, for example. I had a friend who studied it there, and he said that the Japanese educational system was specifically designed to stop people thinking for themselves. No. You know?
Do you, I mean, you obviously grew up in England at a certain time where the school system was famous for being rigid and domineering and whatnot. Has it changed? And I mean, America is often seen as a place, you know, people wear baggy pants and anything goes. We're not structured enough. Is that a better environment, or can you talk a little bit about the specific
I think it's always
creativity?
a question of balance, isn't it? Because discipline is essential to any kind of learning and getting better. It's essential, but at the same time, if you have too much, then you have a Chinese or Japanese system, as I say, where people, they don't want anyone to be creative because they're frightened that they will lose control. Mm-hmm. So all I can tell you is I can only think of one example where my creativity was stifled. We had a very nice teacher called Jumpaji, and he taught me English, which seemed to me a bit redundant because I spoke it pretty fluently anyway. He asked us to write an essay on time. And I'd already realized it's a very hard thing to write about, you know? You look it up in the dictionary and it says duration. Then you look up duration and it says time. So I wrote the whole essay about the fact that I'd not had time to write the essay. Now, you giggle at that. It's not bad, is it, for 15? Yeah. But he said to me, Cleese, this isn't a proper essay. You see? He didn't have a go at me. He wasn't nasty. He wasn't particularly critical. He says, no, we just don't do the things this way. And that's how our creativity gets stifled. And I think it's creativity that kids do have at an early age.
Do you